Yeah, when Mr. Know All, they make this type of malicious, like they will use the word malicious, or other people they know they understand say they even be more malicious than the people when they use the word malicious on. Mr. Know All, we all will understand which will be ceasefire. But make you two not make that mistake. For feel say, before negotiation, you want to start for every conflict, there must be a ceasefire. And nobody also see them for any conflict. You want to start for talk about negotiation so far as that conflict be concerned. You the first jump, you go down for ceasefire. You start with the various parties, they start for accept on the terms of the negotiation. When some certain guidelines will not be accepted about the terms of negotiation, where it could be fair for either side. From that moment, they'll say because a certain level of trust it be between the two parties, the mediator, where it come in, it go now they call for a maybe both parties, the ceasefire, or the both parties go agree, say as long agree on some certain terms of our negotiation, make we stop for the fight. Make negotiations to go on. The other party, where if you say you get an upper hand, if it deny sorry, say don't negotiations go up, they go on, but no ceasefire in no good day. For the best of my knowledge, with me, I don't see conflicts around the world. May I take the one for Liberia, when Samuel Doe will be killed. Samuel Doe will go there for negotiate about a ceasefire. Before President Johnson, he catch him for road, he kill him. Oh, he be going for continue a negotiation, maybe about the exit or about whatsoever. Was a ceasefire not in place in Liberia and particularly in Monrovia then? But was there any ceasefire? The fighting was still ongoing. Maybe I'll go for South Sudan. South Sudan and Sudan, when they be the fight and they start negotiation, South Sudan will ever accept for a ceasefire where Sudanese soldiers will sit for South Sudan. South Sudan will only accept for a ceasefire when he and Sudan will agree. Say Sudan will withdraw his soldiers for South Sudan. It go them for the boundary. Make South Sudanese them, they will still be part of Sudan, but they rule themselves for 6 years. After that 6 years, if they'll go now for a referendum for see if they feel live with South Sudan, that was a tangible agreement. Sudan withdraw its soldiers from South Sudan. The fighting now is stopped, but South Sudanese will ever lay down their arms. They will only halt their fire when Sudan will withdraw its soldiers from South Sudan. If Sudan maintain its soldiers inside Sudan, they talk about a ceasefire, there couldn't have ever been a ceasefire in South Sudan or between Sudan and South Sudan. So, Mr. Know All, not they talk as if they talk for some maroons them, because only you don't know about and read about ceasefire of the world, we know any other person who don't ever read them. So the calls of people malicious, of which you are even more malicious than any other person. Make Honorable Jonathan, he send this audio for you, make you listen them to, you are malicious way of thinking. And you think say that only you get sense for talk trash for other people. See some maroons where they exist, I don't know how they even dig grave a come over it today. Because this war will go on for 6 years. I've never heard this voice. So who said this malicious man he come out today? With this malicious audio where they put that out for the insult some people. Maybe I ask this malicious guy. The Swiss talks, it becomes say no precondition will be given for start negotiations. La Republic, it give a consent from the onstart. Though a withdrawal because for even start for negotiation, don't mean say every party go end up for that negotiation table. You fit back out at any given moment where you want. The question where I be asked, where I be the ask, and I say, why Anyangwe it be ever denied for go for Swiss, but it choose for go for Canada, where the Canadian talks that La Republic it organize them. We know they deny any country for come into engagement for negotiate between the people of the Southern Cameroons and La Republic Cameroon. But we don't also learn a lesson from Swiss, so we don't also need for rush into any negotiations with some country in column until we will get a clear indication. Say La Republic, it no go back out, and say La Republic, it will be committed to the end. And say the international committee will also hold La Republic responsible if they back out for such a negotiation. You malicious man. If you're not being a malicious or you get malicious mind, how you feel so when you rush into a negotiation and a ceasefire where La Republic soldiers, the CB station and administrators, the CB station for Southern Cameroon, I will talk about a ceasefire. Because my own ceasefire, where it is for my mind, and I say before the Southern Cameroon will accept any ceasefire with La Republic Cameroon, La Republic must don't withdraw all his soldiers and administrators from the Southern Cameroons back to La Republic boundary. After which, the international community will send a peacekeeping mission for create a buffer zone between the Southern Cameroons and La Republic Cameroon. Then we can, at that moment, be contemplating of a ceasefire and not talking about a ceasefire while La Republic soldiers are still there ransacking, burning down our villages, killing our people, and you are talking about a malicious ceasefire. This can only be coming from a malicious people with malicious minds who cannot even understand anything called a ceasefire. And if Anyangwe is involved in this type of a malicious deal, then, like the man command will say, if you want to eat with a meta man, eat with a very long spoon, for they are a people that can never be trusted. Sama Thomas.
Fellow Ambazonians, there is news flying out there about a certain ceasefire signed in Canada by the clandestine group that was meeting. And there are some accusations made about the involvement of other activists. Now, I will stay clear of that. I want to focus on the substance. I want to focus on La République du Cameroun. Now, if La République du Cameroun and its traitorous native Ambazonians such as Diongute, Atanganji Paul are pushing forward or have this clandestine group accepting to a ceasefire, it is because of what we saw in Washington, D.C. Paul Biya showed the entire world that he is demented, senile, old, and biologically dysfunctional. So several things are coming out from Biya's presence in Washington, D.C. One, the monstrous regime actually fell for the farce that 200 Ambazonian activists living in the United States have been listed for pickup, and that they will begin picking them up if they assemble anywhere in the name of a protest. That did not happen. That did not happen. And the mere fact that Ambazonian activists went and applied for a permit to protest, and the permit was registered in the name of Ambazonia, and the rationale for the protest was for the liberation of Ambazonia and not for any decentralization or federalism or whatever they call it, was a slap in the face of traitors who are living in Yaoundé and all along have been promising the monstrous regime that, oh, the secessionist fighters are losing. Just as I'm speaking, if you've gone through social media sites owned by citizens of La République du Cameroon, you should have seen where, one, they've posted messages such as Ambazonian secessionists lose big in the United States. Two, impressive Biya images coming from the United States. Three, Ambazonian secessionists kowtow to the Biya government's demands. I can go on, but all those things are lies. All those things are lies. They are talking of impressive images when Biya himself sat right on the stage, did not know where he was, did not know what was going on, did not know who was in the audience, he had to be helped to sit on the chair, and they had to be helped to get up. He didn't know where the podium was for him to stand there and talk. So when they talk of impressive images, what impressive images are coming out when the man himself proved himself? And it was even wrong for whoever arranged for Biya to come to the United States. They forgot that Biya stood on the same stage in Yaoundé when Macron visited. A French journalist asked him a question 3 times. He could not understand, and Macron had to repeat the question 2 or 3 times, and he still could not understand. And he even said that malheureusement, unfortunately, unfortunately, I cannot understand your question, but let me just say something. So what changed? How did that version of Biya change from the version that came to the United States? He was still demented, senile, suffering for tremendous memory loss, and he didn't know where he was. So there was a lot of bad publicity, a revelation to the international community of what we have been running away from. We are not with what we are clamoring for is not for the overthrow of Biya. He can stay there for 100 years. We want to regain our statehood, and we are regaining our statehood every day that this liberation movement is not squashed. So the success of that protest in Washington, D.C. took La République du Cameroon aback. So they will be coming up with all these fake messages. Oh, a ceasefire has been signed. Oh, a reconciliation this. Oh, some group has agreed that there will be no ghost town among this. No! They cannot, nobody can stop Ghost Town Mondays. As we've mentioned it, as several activists have mentioned this, La République du Cameroon and France and other imperialist friends of the monsters here in the regime should understand that Ghost Town Monday, or what we refer to as Country Sunday, will be stopped when our government is seated in Boya and a transitional legislature votes on the suspension of Ghost Town Monday. No one individual, no one group, no group of individuals can sit at this moment that we are at war and decide that, oh, Ghost Town Monday will be suspended. That will not work. That will not work. And this clandestine group of people who are meeting in Canada and negotiating with La République du Cameroon, they are doing that on their own accord. Whatever they are negotiating is null and void. It's invalid. Nobody selected them to negotiate on the behalf of Ambazonian. We've seen this movie before. So people can sit and come up with nonsensical resolutions, which of course are non-binding. As I keep saying, call back to your village, call back to your local government area and talk to our fighters. Are you guys aware of anything like negotiations? They will tell you no. And that's why, as I keep saying, that the same way that you send money to your relatives should be the same way that you can send money to the fighters. We should be doing it. We are not hiding it from the American government. Just as Ukrainian citizens within the United States are calling for the supply of arms to Ukraine to defend itself, just as Iranian citizens or Iranian Americans are calling on the Biden administration and other Western countries to help activists on the ground in Iran to topple the theocratic regime, which is executing activists on a daily basis. That's the same thing that we are doing. We are calling on countries to help us reclaim our statehood, and we will not stop. We are not hiding it. And we are letting the international community to know that at this moment that we are at war, we are not negotiating with La République du Cameroon. As we speak, they are still ransacking villages. They are going door to door in Bamenda, abducting young boys and killing them. They've occupied the palace of the Fawn of Mancon for whatever reason, and they've killed some boys whose compounds who live as neighbors to the palace for just no reason. So meanwhile they are talking about ceasefire in Canada, they are still killing. They are still destroying property. Their soldiers are still on our roads, extorting money from soldiers, from drivers. Their soldiers are still stealing crops from farms. Their soldiers are still breaking into abandoned homes and cutting away property. So What ceasefire are people talking about? So whoever is negotiating with La République du Cameroun or is talking with their agents in the name of a ceasefire, no, you are talking on your own behalf. You are not talking on behalf of Ambazonians. We are still at war. We will be defending ourselves. And if La République du Cameroun is serious about a ceasefire, we have channels through which they can make their propositions known. And one of those channels is the State Department. Because so far, the United States government is one of the credible sources, credible and trusted. So if La République du Cameroun wants to end the war, we don't even want them to go through the United Nations. They should go through the US State Department and say, hey, we want to talk with these guys. We want to negotiate with them to end the war so that we can part ways peacefully. So that we can part ways peacefully. We are not saying that so that we can impose decentralization or federation on them. That will never happen. And that is why we keep saying that it is either statehood or resistance forever. It is either statehood or resistance forever. La République du Cameroun cannot pay impostors to meet with them and talk about ceasefire. Meanwhile, one of their gang members, one of their leading militia, Moja, is there in Buya, arresting, molesting, killing, and even handing some of the innocent citizens to La République du Cameroun security officials in Buya, where they are tortured, killed, and buried in mass graves. That happens every week. So what ceasefire is being talked about? There is no ceasefire. Just because people talk about ceasefire doesn't mean that there will be a ceasefire or a ceasefire will be accepted. Absolutely not. So please, if you are involved with this ceasefire thing, stop. Stop. And this is a warning. This is a warning to the likes of Nick Ngwanyam, to the likes of Agbobala, to the likes and Son Foncha, the conman who keeps saying that he is a military contractor in the United States. You know, as somebody who knows a thing or two about federal procurement, contract and procurement, I would love to sit with Son Foncha face to face and I ask him questions. I ask him to cite regulations regarding federal procurement. I would want to ask him questions on the FAR. Does he even know what the FAR is? FAR. Does he know what the FAR is? Federal Acquisition Regulation. Does he know what it is? He will come and lie that, I had a federal contractor, Quantico, or wherever he said he was. He cannot even speak. He cannot speak English. He doesn't know it. Listen to him. So all these impostors, all these belly politicers who are interested in receiving bribes from the monstrous Yaoundé regime, know that whatever you are receiving money from them and agreeing to has absolutely nothing to do with this liberation movement, because it will continue. It will continue. Maybe some of you who are involved in those deals are so dumb that you don't even know history. Guess what? When the ANC was fighting for freedom in South Africa, Chief Buthelezi Mangasutu was receiving humongous stipends from the apartheid regime. Every time that the ANC made some progress, Mangasutu Buthelezi will agree to some nonsense, some proposals by the apartheid regime. All those proposals were considered null and void by ANC. They stood their grounds. We will stand our grounds and will not give up. We will stand our grounds and keep moving. We will stand our grounds and fight. We will stand our grounds and see that we get to Buya and reclaim our country. And when we reclaim our country, we will build a real democratic country in Africa like none other. Because right now, there is no democratic country in Africa. I listened to the president of Ghana, who made a speech during the USA Africa Summit. I said to myself, my God, I don't know what is going through the head of Africans. Why are Africans cursed? The president of Ghana is telling people that Africans should stop being beggars. And then he ends up asking for money from the United States. He tells us that Africans should stop being beggars. But when Burkina Faso, when the army folks and the government, the military government in Mali, when they want to flush out France, as the chairman of ECOWAS, the president of Ghana says, oh, he supports French proposals for the government to return to be returned to the civilians. But you know what? When the West African countries wanted to implement their currency, ECOWAS, France went through Ivory Coast and sabotaged the whole thing. The president of Ghana did not say a word. The president of Ghana has not said a word that he is sitting on the same stage with somebody who has been in power for 40 years, somebody who is demented, who has mental degeneration, doesn't even know where he is, doesn't know who is in the audience, doesn't know why he is on the stage, doesn't know where the podium is. That is the situation that Africa finds itself. And unfortunately, this gang that is meeting in Canada is following in the footsteps of other corrupt African statesmen, if at all we can call them statesmen. So it is now incumbent, the burden is on us, genuine Ambazonian activists, to stand up and don't relent, to continue funding this war, to continue sending money to our boys, to continue telling our fighters in our local communities that on no occasion they should tolerate the presence of citizens of La République du Cameroon within them. Because the La République du Cameroon colonial administration is seated only in the major towns, in the Bamendas, in the Kumbas, in the Boyas, in the Victorias, Antico. They cannot venture into areas that we've captured, taken over, and maintained a solid presence. They can only send their soldiers to sneak in, kill people, and then sneak back out. So there is no ceasefire. There is no ceasefire, and whoever is negotiating or has agreed to a ceasefire is wasting their time because it will not work. It will not work. They send the B. Oh, they are sending 2,000 B, well-trained B. They came, nothing. They swapped generals. They took Ka Ovale away and brought Buba. Nothing. Then they said, oh, they are sending elite special forces. Nothing. And ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you one question. If Biya sat on the stage here in Washington, D.C., and didn't even know what was going on, wasn't aware of what is going on, then if that is the case, how is it possible for him to sit and discuss with all those emissaries? Just about maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago, we were told that Macron sent a special envoy to Yaoundé and he met with His Excellency Paul Biya to discuss what? To discuss what? Oh, a certain delegation from France or from Canada met with His Excellency Paul Biya. Oh, a special envoy from Japan met with His Excellency Paul Biya. Oh, the Prime Minister had a special audience with His Excellency Paul Biya. You see, all those things are lies. Because Paul Biya is in a state of degeneration. He has lost his sense, his thought process. So we should not be fooled. We will fight and fight and fight to the last man standing, even for the next 50 years, until we regain our statehood. There is no such thing as regionalism. There is no such thing as decentralization. There is no such thing as one and indivisibility. There is no such thing as federalism. And one of those, the people that I forgot warning is Simon Munzu. Simon Munzu. It is not a secret. You are on our wanted list. Another one is Frundi. You are on our wanted list. Nick Ngwanyam. You are on our wanted list. We will hunt you down. We are not hiding it. Step into Ambazonian and you will find out. As the great late Chinua Achebe once said, he who hides in the grass will see what is in the bush. Come into Ambazonian and you will find out. These impostors who are clamoring for a ceasefire, it will not happen. Cease and desist, because Ambazonia will be free. Come daylight or night, come sunshine or rain, come a tsunami or a tornado, come an earthquake, we shall regain.
Fellow Ambazonians, good afternoon. Today is Thursday, December the 22nd, 2022. I thought it necessary to give to you what I'll call a supplement to my audio of yesterday. This will be a supplemental to the audio I made yesterday. And because I feel that these things are very important and we have to continue to emphasize on them, because if, God forbid, we make some mistakes at this point, it may become very cumbersome for us to ever correct them again in the future. It is for this reason and this reason only that I therefore thought it necessary to bring this audio to you this afternoon to supplement what I said yesterday. The first thing I would like to say is that when I mentioned the unconditional release of our prisoners from the dungeons of La République du Cameroon, I would like to pay particular emphasis to the Naira 10 because not only should they be released unconditionally, but we also will agree that they ought to be compensated for their illegal detention. A crime was committed by La République du Cameroon, and since we may not have or we may not be able to reciprocate such illegality by locking up the old man Paul Biya and all those who were involved in this crime of the illegally abducting the Naira 10 and transporting them across state boundaries without due process, it is only but logical that they be paid a financial compensation for their pain and suffering and the violation of their freedom. It is just but the right thing to do. Not only should they be released unconditionally, but they ought to be compensated for their pain and suffering for this crime that was committed against them. Now, on to the main topic that I want to expand on today. The Southern Cameroons, Ambazonian, must never be left defenseless ever again. In 1972, when Ahijo decided to do away with the federal structure of government, our leaders, or our then leaders, comprising Fonlon, Joa, Foncha, Rimunas, Endelis, and others, were not happy about what had happened. And when they tried to stage a resistance, Ahijo, of course, marched in his gendarmes and the military, and they were overpowered and had to give up their resistance for fear of being completely killed. Our mobile wing police at the time, who were mostly armed with batons, could not match the well-armed La République du Cameroon military. A baton is no match for a rifle. So when Paul Biya declared war on us in 2017, he did so with this in the back of his mind. That is why he was confident enough to say that we will be crushed in 2 weeks. It is now 6 years and counting, and we are getting more sophisticated with each passing day. La République du Cameroon once said they don't negotiate with terrorists, but now they are eager to negotiate with the same so-called terrorists. The only reason they are willing to do so is because of our military resistance. But for our military resistance, you can bet with me that, or you will agree with me that La République du Cameroon would never have considered even talking to us. Those who were once called dogs and 2 cubes of sugar, roaches or Biafrans, now command some respect. And that is due to the fact that we have demonstrated that we can stand our ground. Fellow Ambazonians, this world is made up of two groups. There are the predators and there is the prey. What you choose to be is what you will become. When you look at Israel in the Middle East, surrounded by Arab states, when the reason Israel is surviving in the Middle East by its Arab and surrounded by its Arab neighbors is not because they love Israel so much, but rather because Israel have a deterrence called the nuclear weapon. That is the only reason they are able to survive in the Middle East. Their neighbors who very much want to wipe Israel out of the map of this world. But they cannot do it for that very reason, because Israel is able to defend itself. Whatever settlement we, Ambazonians, will finally have with La République du Cameroun must include the option of us being able to defend ourselves. We have suffered this vulnerability before, and we cannot allow ourselves to go back to it again. If we should allow ourselves to go back to being defenseless, I can assure you that it is only a matter of time and we will find ourselves right back to where we started this conflict. Especially considering the fact that we are dealing with people who are untrustworthy, they are not honest, and they don't believe that we ought to have any rights. Leaving ourselves without any defenses will make this whole process that we've gone through completely useless. So I'm emphasizing here again that we must never again allow ourselves to remain defenseless. It will be very tragic to do so. For 60 years, we've been used, abused, insulted, and exploited. We've been kicked around and slapped around because we had no means of resisting such torments. But we have finally found our voice. We finally found our voice. Why then should we give our hands to be chained yet again? Why allow the yoke of slavery to be put on our necks yet again? We must not let this happen. We must never allow again this yoke of slavery to be put around our necks. And if we should give up our ability to defend ourselves, that is exactly what will happen. We must maintain our ability to defend ourselves, because giving that up will make us vulnerable yet again. God forbid. There was a time when people laughed at the mention of China. Today, China commands respect, even from the United States of America. There was a time when the mention of Rwanda brought about the vision or the thought of genocide and violence and suffering. Today, Rwanda commands respect. There are two things that the world respects, and these are strength and excellence. That is why you could come from a very humble beginning, but when you are able to excel in any field or specialty, you gain respect. Or when you are strong, you gain respect. However, in order to excel, you must be able to shape your own destiny. This is also contingent on your freedom to make those decisions that will allow you to excel. When such decisions are left in the hands of others, your ability to excel then is hampered or made impossible. For example, in the Southern Cameroons, Ambazonian, we understand that our educational system is controlled by others. The curricula of education is drawn by France. Do we really think that they will allow us to study those things that will make us competitive with them? How can you allow your educational system to be controlled by your enemies? How do you think you can excel? And how can we gain back the right to educate our own children if we cannot control what is rightly ours? Therefore, as much as excellence is important, it is sometimes impossible to achieve it when you are not strong enough to defend what is yours. So we must seek our military ability to defend ourselves, so we will be able to shape our destiny as we see fit. When your enemy controls what you can learn, you can never compete with them. That is the case of the Southern Cameroons under slavery by La République du Cameroun and France. We Ambazonians must never again allow ourselves to be so helpless, and we must seek excellence. But again, as I've said, these two things, as important as they may be, one depends on the other. We must be able to shape our destiny by having the ability to fend off enemies and create those conditions that will allow for excellence to be possible. The era of mediocrity in Ambazonia is over. Let's not give up our defenses. Let's fortify them, and we will get the respect that we deserve. This is very important to me, as I'm saying here, and I hope you see the same need to endorse these ideas, because without us being able to do for ourselves those things that we think are beneficial to us, if we should outsource that responsibility to others, they will make those decisions for us. But they will make those decisions to favor them, not us. So again, I'll reiterate here that it is very important that whatever negotiation, whatever the outcome of any negotiation we are having, be it in Canada or anywhere else, we must never again accept to leave ourselves defenseless. Doing so will render this whole struggle a waste of time. Thanks for listening. Mike Fruzy.
Yes, good evening, good afternoon. 21 gun salute to all of our fighters, all of the great generals, foot soldiers defending the homeland. I say when a place day inside this struggle. Yes, Mr. Jeka, I listened to your ignorant audio way you just said I'm inside this forum, where you think say you feel fool some people about the struggle. You know feel fool no person, Mr. Jeka. Yes, but we don't know nothing about your Canadian stock, and we don't like for know anything about, because today Ambazonia one nothing where they go they see nothing where they cook for background. No, that cooking of background we no go take them again, Mr. Jeka. Yes, you talk about the restoration forces. You, Mr. Jeka, you not get for talk about the restoration force, because restoration force is not there for your backyard day. They're not there. And you say that they fight every day. You come again say no. They even if they not fight for 3 months or 4 months, they one day where they go can hit, they will feel them. Yes, but If that one not, if it happen, enough it happen for your backyard day for Faku day because Mr. Jeka for your what way you claim say you be the son of the soil. I think say you way if you made the shame, like you for to come out tell people say for we are Victoria ghost town not to take place for day, and now for Buya ghost town not to take place again. Yes, normal city all over. Yes. So Mr. Jeka, and if you say the forces where they fight, try for sweep your own house, it be clean before you start go for. Try for look whether your neighbor house to be clean. Now the only advice we have give for you, Mr. Jeka. If when I think say when I face full we, I think see that one no go work. Yes. But no matter any Ambazonian way it bring anything way concern this independent way, we will be free, we will take them. Yes, we go take them. Because Professor Anyangwe, he deny Swiss talks, but we want come for Canada, EDD. And you way we say we are President Marianta. Marianta never come out tell we how even address the people as he say he be the only president. He make himself for be president. Now you now or you be now a spokesman or who we don't know. So we still wait for hear from Buna, Mr. Jeka. But not to talk about the restoration forces because any person where go talk about the restoration forces, if I say make a show what way village they do, place where come out day. What did it take place for day first? Because you go talk for Bui warriors, you go talk about Bui warriors, go Kutunja, left and right. No, that one is not concern you because we no one say we na so me when I begin talk concerning some different countries and where they fight. Me we na try for activate our own country make the fight so that we join together we fight this fight. Because if other people do the same thing when I don't do it for Fako, like today, they know to talk about this fight. So any man with the shame, I feel say you know the shame you. But if you the shame, you see what way they take place for Victoria, and you see what way they take place for Buya, for Fako and Kaya, you know go talk about the restoration force. And if at all, as you say they fight, tell them say make they stop the ghost town, make they stop make the implement the ghost town for Fako and Victoria for the whole this thing what you Fako, because no being a secret again. All of you will not say for Fako ghost towns not they take place again, Mr. Jeka, where you know all and only you fit talk through with your Marianta.
Fellow Ambazonians, this is the mechanic. I've come to react to a posting which our senior Professor Anyangwe has made concerning the Canadian, what he calls pre-talks. The reason I'm coming here is because, at least to react to what he has written, is because there is hope that is being generated by what he's saying, which doesn't really exist. It is unfortunate that at this time and age, with all the education we have gotten, we are allowing La Republique to take us into a worse than Fumban situation. What started in Canada as a John Gute meeting facilitated by Canada became something people are trying to morph into a negotiation. It is not going to happen for obvious reasons. I don't know why our senior Professor Professor Anyangwe will not be able to realize that what they are doing is really trying to get water out of a stone. The only reason the Prime Minister, John Gute, asked Canada to get Ambazonians together was for a photo op. That's all they needed. All they needed was to show that Ambazonians can respond to the government's beck and call. For as long as we have done that, don't waste your time. They've already gotten all they needed from you. They will not give you anything else. Mark my words, you can stay there for years. La République will never sign up for another mediation in Canada. They've already gotten what they wanted. And I'm surprised that those who went to Canada didn't think about these things before going to give them exactly what they've been looking for. The only thing that was absent from the ground dialogue, they got it in Canada. Now they are complete, and you can see that life is going on in La République du Cameroon. The only thing they are trying to do now is to stop the fighting back home. If they can successfully get us to stop fighting them, they will never. In fact, as of this moment, there's no motivation whatsoever for them to sit in for any mediation. These things are so vividly clear. And I'm wondering why the professor and his crew are missing it. How can you go and you are trying to mediate with, you don't have a mediator, and you are trying to talk into what? You say you don't have a mediation and you are talking? How are you going to enforce what you are talking? This is unbelievable. These things are so straightforward. Why are people missing it? Why are people missing it? We already know who La République is. We already know that they never keep their word. Never. And when it comes to mediation, it had always been the well wishes or the goodwill of the parties, something which La République lacks fundamentally. The only reason we can get La République, and the only reason they ever opted to some kind of mediation like we saw in Switzerland, is because there was pressure. It wasn't something they did out of their own will. And that pressure stayed on that table, except that the professor and the rest of them escaped from an internationally mediated table set up right there. As if that was not enough, they rolled it back to Canada into a grand dialogue thing, and La République has gotten all they needed. They have now proven that they still have some command over Ambazonians. They can call Ambazonians to meeting and they will show up. What else do they need? How can you go up there and you roll this thing back to a national dialogue, and then you are sitting there and saying you are some kind of pre-talks? How are you going to get there? Is La République stupid? We all know that these state actors, the least opening you give them, they will take it. You went and buried this revolution up in Canada. Thank God that we have these boys down there doing their work. It will take a lot of effort to get La République back on any table. The best option, now let me tell you something. If La République, if you are going to be pleading that La République gets to that table, they will come with conditions. I can almost guarantee you that. They will never show up knowing that there's a possibility to put the state as a negotiating topic. They went to Switzerland hoping we're not going to show up. We showed up. And then they realized Switzerland was not going to shake off. They were not going to yield to the pressure they were mounting about not having to discuss the shape of state, the form of state, excuse me. And when they found out there was no way they could wiggle themselves out of that, Biya opted out, and you guys gave him all he needed. So stop giving us false hope, my senior. Don't give us false hope. We know that nothing is going to come in Canada. We know that we'll have to work harder, way harder, to be able to wiggle ourselves out of the ditch you have put us into in Canada. And if you are sincere, you should by now already be telling our people that is, anyway, you did make some mention of that. But what you are trying to do is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Even people like my comrade John Bakuru, who were saying that they will not go to any French-speaking country, are sitting in Canada. Oh my goodness. This revolution will teach us things. Prof, my suggestion to you is that the Swiss table is still available. It is the best thing we have so far. All of you should get out of Canada. All of you get together. We be like one solid block. Get back together, get into art, build it into something solid, and go to Switzerland and say we are fully here and ready. The friends of the Swiss process, all these big guys, they will force La République to that table. That, as far as I'm concerned, is the best option. I know some of you have a hard time going back to something you had insulted so much. But you know what? You want to see what history will do to you, stay in Canada. Stay in Canada and see on which side of history your name will be written. This is the best option we have so far. I'm not in the business of critiquing and not giving way out. Thank God that we never abandoned the Swiss table. The sooner you guys can do that and do it quickly, and like one person, mount that table, the Ambazonian table set in Switzerland, and tell La République we'll only talk to you in Switzerland. The sooner we can do that, the better. Let me tell you what is wrong with the kind of, you call it pre-talks. I've always thought pre-talks were some things you do when you are already in the mediation process. You do not have any mediator. Anyway, maybe it has a broad definition. Right now, you do not have a mediator. So how are you talking to these guys? If you do not have a mediator, who is the one putting this table together in Canada? What makes you think that even if La République promised you whatever, they will be able to deliver it to you? Because the advantage of having a mediator is that you now have these third parties, the guys with the muscle, who can muscle some guys to submission. You do not have that. And you're trying to talk to a person you know cannot keep his word, even to himself. Prof, this is a huge mistake. And I think it's not going to take you anywhere. This is just the mechanic. What do I know? But the history and the documentation of this conflict must be complete. Even the mechanics should also put their word in the history books. Now you were trying to recruit people, talent, and we have lots of it. The problem with doing it this way is that you will have to answer the question, where are these people supposed to be putting these names? Who is collecting these names? The only thing we created in Nigeria, you guys were able to went back and allowed it to fall and created what you call governments. And the factioning started. If you really want to collect anything for the good of Ambazonian now, you, our leaders, you must get together. Get together first. Only then can you collect. If not, tell me. Tell me, how are you going to collect? Under what, what group is going to be collecting these people? who is going to be deciding what expert is recruited. So my senior, I'm pleading that you guys should leave Canada. Stop wasting your time up there. You've already sold us out enough in Canada. And then get back to what is already there, an international table well set up. And then you, our leaders, get together. So through that structure that represents everybody, we can now begin to recruit our experts in all the various areas. God bless Ambazonia. This is the mechanic.
As I go continue, Prince J.K., we don't lost sense of direction long time. I don't see that video where you be the do am the other day. You write them for update, say you give honor to your president, Iya Marianta. Yesterday, I don't see post where you don't come post RPG them. Make it not be say you don't enter for photoshopping like egg of sea. Because if you don't put those photos, it means you wanna get those materials. And why not they happen for Ndian, for Mondemba, for Ekondo Titi, for Lobe, from Bonge? Why not they happen when I get that kind of equipment? When a long distance, why not they happen? You say na your president. We not deny na your president. But since if you go Canada talks, you can tell when I say Boya is near. Wait till again if you don't explain them for una. You dey talk about the youths every day, and I use the day for Bush the fight. But your president, where you say na your president, you don't go Canada talks, you know, come for can talk, say Prince J.K. Tell that your fighter them, your young brother them, when I fight at them for Bush say, we the support, we don't go for Canada, we'll talk na this, we fight for their prevention and everything. We never talk. Neither they talk of decentralization and wait, they want to talk and ceasefire. You know, be tell na nothing. Now, what's kind of disgrace where you know the shame? Your friend, they don't go solo. Na Nanchop that night, he post na moto for Facebook how he drive for Dubai. How he dey for nightclub. Na shame. So, they no go kill you, they no go leave una. Because we dey for diaspora. So we think say we fit use our brothers their lives them for nothing. Thunder go fire all man we dey for that thing. But I give you task. Before Christmas one pass, made a RPG do one better work. Because of this una nonsense, so it don't make even Phil Mashatenkobo don't go mellow, it don't go down. So my brothers, these two people then, so I don't ask them this question, they made a tell we. Me Prince J.K. in a Gabonese made a tell we. But so long as we will there for behind our comrade in arm, Comrade Chris Anno, we go support the struggle, we go revamp the struggle, and the struggle go pick steam. My 21 gun salute for all the generalism, the field marshals, the colonels, the captains, and the foot soldiers. God go bless una for una hard work. If things are not there for una mellow, any opportunity una get una use. Una safety be important. They talk about ceasefire. They never talk. Carson Anyang where we go for the ceasefire. Where they talk about ceasefire. They be talk about Swiss talk, he no go. Now they want to talk about Canadian talk, he don't come or go. But I want to ask you question, say, you will be a foreign affairs minister. Since they be arrested, you know, we don't bring one foreign body maker enter for sea. Because he planned there behind his head in a Milan atom, now we don't run go for Canada. but he go fail them because no ceasefire, no the enough happen when negotiation they never reach for negotiate for an agreement where everybody go take his side before gun slow. We Amazonians will not go drop our guns because we'll never go for La Republic territory. May La Republic go back for their territory, take their dues and everything, go cross Mongo, they no go hear no sound for gun again. Now my own message out for this end of year. God bless Ambazonia. Short live the struggle. Long live the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, the watchman of the revolution. As I go continue, Prince J.K., we don't lost sense of direction long time. I don't see that video where you be the do am the other day. You write time for update say you give honor to your president, Iya Marianta. Yesterday, I don't see post where you don't come post RPG them. Make it not be say you to don't enter for photoshopping like egg of sea. Because if you don't put those photos, it means that when I get those materials, why not you know they happen for Ndian, for Mondemba, for Ekondo Titi, for Lobe, from Bonge? Why not you know they happen when I get that kind of equipment? When a long distance, why not you know they happen? You say na your president, will not deny na your president. But since when you go Canada talks, you can tell when I say Boya is near. Wait till again if you don't explain them for una. You dey talk about the youths every day, and I use the day for Bush the fight. But your president, where you say na your president, you don't go Canada talks, you know, come for can talk say Prince J.K. Tell that your fighter them, your young brother them, when I fight at them for Bush say, we the support. We don't go for Canada. We'll talk na this. We don't fight for their prevention and everything. We never talk. Neither did they talk of decentralization and wait, they want to talk and ceasefire. You know, be tell na nothing. Now, what's kind of disgrace where you know the shame? Your friend, they don't go solo. Now, Nanchop that night, he post na motor for Facebook how he drive for Dubai. How he there for nightclub. Now, shame. So, they no go kill you, they no go leave una. Because we there for diaspora. So we think say we fit use our brothers their lives them for nothing. Thunder go fire all man we there for that thing. But I give you task. Before Christmas, one pass. More made a RPG do one better work. Because now, because of this one nonsense, so it don't make even Phil Mashatenkobo don't go mellow, it don't go down. So my brothers, these two people then, so I don't ask them this question. They made a tell we. They Prince Jeka in a Gabonese made a tell we. But so long as we will therefore behind our comrade in arm, comrade Chris Anno, we go support the struggle, we go revamp the struggle, and the struggle go pick steam. My 21 gun salute for all the generalism, the field marshals, the colonels, the captains, and the foot soldiers. God go bless una for una hard work. If things are not there for una mellow, any opportunity una get una use. Una safety be important. They talk about ceasefire. They never talk. Carson Anyang where we go for the ceasefire. Where they talk about ceasefire. They be talk about Swiss talk, it no go. Now they want to talk about Canadian talk, it don't come or go. But I want to ask you question, say, you will be a foreign affairs minister. Since they be arrested, you know, we don't bring one foreign body maker enter for sea. Because he planned there behind his head in a Milan atom, now we don't run go for Canada. But he go fail them. Because no ceasefire, no the enough happen when negotiation, they never reach for negotiation for an agreement where everybody go take his side before going slow. We Amazonians will not go drop our guns because we'll never go for La Republic territory. May La Republic go back for their territory, take their dues and everything, go cross Mungo, they not go hear no sound for gun again. Now my own message out for this end of year. God bless Ambazonia. Short live the struggle. Long live the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, the watchman of the revolution.